Hi friends! So today I wanted to do a short little video showing off a few of my favorite styles using square tichels. Especially right now in the summer, it is quite toasty where I live, and so not having a whole lot on your head is absolutely the way to go. So I'm going to start, as we often do, with a square Israeli tichel folded to form a triangle shape, and I'm going to place it on my head. Now, when I use square tichels, I also like to make sure that I don't have too much excess fabric back here, because then I feel like it starts to look a little bit messy. So sometimes I will pleat the front, make sure the edge of my headband is lying flat. I'm only wearing a velvet headband and I have my hair in a low bun. And then I will fold back this front edge to shorten up the tichel. And sometimes, if I have extra, I will give it another little fold forward here, just so it looks a little bit interesting. And as I said, I don't have a ton of excess back here. And I'm going to tie this behind my head. So once I've done that, I will just go around, make sure that this is nice and neat looking. Smooth it out. And then I'm going to tuck in my tail here at the back. Pull it nice and snug and tuck. So the most common way, if I am in a hurry to get out of the house or I just want to do something very fast, I will bring both of my tails over to one side and I will give them a little twist around each other. And you can go as tight or as loose as you want, although the tighter you go, the shorter this is going to be. So if you have a big shaper or a naturally big bun in the back, you probably want to twist it a little bit more loosely so you have more room to work with. And then once I've done that, I am just going to bring this up and around my bun. And tuck. So as I said, that is the simplest, easiest way to wear a tichel that gets it off your neck, but also looks nice and pretty. So I'm going to untuck my ends now and show a slightly different style. So right now it seems really popular to make these knots on top of your head, and I see it more often with rectangular scarves, but you can absolutely do the same thing with a square tichel. And so I'm going to make sure my little short ends are folded in and bring that up. And same thing on the other side, make sure my short ends are in. And you can have this as far towards the front of your head or further back if you like. And I'm just going to make a square knot. So I'm going to take this section that's in front and it's going to cross over in front again and give it a nice little pull. And you can take this, you can fluff up this knot as much or as little as you like. If you want a really tidy look, you can pull it tight. And then I'm just going to take my little ends here and tuck those back underneath. So that's another look, and this is a really great one to do if you don't have a lot of volume in the back, if you don't have enough for a bun, or if you don't want to wear a shaper. That also just gives a really nice look. So another way that I like to tie that you don't need a shaper or a bun for, I'm actually going to undo this a little bit, because this time when I tie it, I'm going to tie it to the side. So I'm going to bring both my scarf ends over here, and I haven't done anything yet other than drape it over my head. And I'm going to give it a tie over here. Make sure I'm pulling on the right end. So this does have a tendency to want to go askew. So before we go any further, I'm going to make sure that I'm nice and covered on both sides. And once again, I'm going to take my end here and tuck it underneath. Great. Give that another little pull, make sure everything is snug, and I'm going to create a bow. And so when you tie a knot, you usually have one that's coming out higher and one that's coming out lower. So I'm going to take my end that's coming out lower, which happens to be the one in front, and I'm going to form a little loop. And then this one is going to come up and over, just like I tie my shoes, and pull through right there. And then the first thing that I like to do is make sure that my knot is really secure, and then I will start adjusting the size and making sure that everything is even. Keep pulling on the wrong side of that. There we go. Now this is way bigger than I want it to be. So I'm going to pull here. And that feels pretty even to me. It's really good to do this with a mirror. Hard to see if you only have one mirror or if you are doing it in a video camera like I am. And then I'm going to fluff out these ends. And if you want to tuck in your tails, you can tuck in your tails. I'm not going to. I like that this has a little bit more of a free-floating vibe. And that is what that looks like. Just a nice little bow at the side of the head. Nice and smooth and back. And then for the final look, I'm going to show how I often wear two scarves, both square. So this is pretty even still on my head, so I'm not going to retie it. And I'm going to take a second square tichel and tie it over top. And once again, I'm going to bring it forward so that I don't have a ton back here to work with. And I'm going to fold that back so that I keep my blue showing at the front here. Again, you can also pleat this if you want to. I find it sometimes just easier to fold it. And then for this one, I'm going to place it underneath, but I'm just going to cross. I'm not going to tie it because I don't like the feeling of having too many knots at the back of my neck. So I'm going to make sure that I have one blue and one pink on each side. And I'm going to hold this under my arm to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere. Pull this so that it feels nice and snug on my head. And I'm going to now rope twist the blue and pink together. And hold that under my arm while I do the other side. And both of these I'm twisting away from my face. And hold that under. And I also need to tuck in my back end here, which I should have done first, but I forgot. So I'm going to do it now. Okay. My twist stayed in place relatively well because these are Israeli tichels and they're pretty grippy because they're just cotton. And now, just like I did with my first look, I'm going to take this and wrap it up and over my bun. And now I'm going to do the same thing with this one. It's going to come up and over. And so it gives this really lovely effect, almost like a braid, when you have the two twists lying next to each other, if you get the colors going correctly, which I can't see whether I did or not, but either way, it's a lovely look and easy to do. Hope you enjoyed.